That sounds great, Kane. Thanks so much for coming in today.
Thank you very much.
So you're going to answer some question for us about violin bows.
Yeah. Basically, aside from the violin itself, the bow is pretty much your other main object when playing the violin. And I think I'm going to walk you through the parts of the violin bow.
Perfect.
First, so the basic part is the wooden stick. It's basically a kind of finely carved wooden rod that then at the very bottom has kind of hollowed out area where you can tighten and loosen the actual horsehair.
So the amount of tension is kind of critical to adjust. We'll get to that.
Yeah. And basically, as the horsehair runs across the violin strings, it makes the noise. So again, a very critical part of the violin.
Absolutely.
And yes, as horsehair gets tensioned, I don't know if you can see this, but as when you put a violin bow away, and maybe when you get it at first, it will be loosened, and you see there's really no gap there.
Right.
And then you tighten it when you play.
How much space is the right amount of space? How much tension? Is there a rough guide?
There is no rough estimate. Basically, when you put the violin bow on the strings, if you see this, when I play it with no tension, it's basically the stick running across the strings. And when I actually tension it, it's only the horsehair. And that's kind of vital, because the stick, you'll just hear and feel, it'll feel awful.
Oh, yeah.
You'll also get more of a tone.
Big time.
Yeah.
And is there anything else that you need to do then when you're getting ready to play your violin? Maybe for the first time you have a brand new bow.
For the first time a brand new bow, or really every time you play, what you want to do is add what's called rosin to the violin bow and to the horsehair.
So what is rosin?
Rosin is basically tree sap. It's kind of very sticky and not something you really want to touch. And all you have to do when you get it is run it across the strings like so. And you want to run it not necessarily all completely uniform. You want to switch it up and change it.
Yeah, special secret techniques.
Yeah, and as you go, and when you get a brand new stick of rosin, you'll see that it's very nicely finished and everything. And what you really want to do is take a quarter or something and scratch that up just to get it started.
Right, because you're actually getting some powder literally on the bow.
Yes, and as you play more and more, I've got my violin cleaned up, but you'll see a lot of powder ends up on the violin, and you really don't want that to happen either. So you want to really kind of wipe your violin off every time you've played.
So what would it sound like if we had a brand new bow, we didn't have rosin?
So Mars has given me this brand new bow that has not been rosined, and first I'll play you something on a fully rosin bow, my bow. So that's what a violin bow's supposed to sound like. Here's what a violin bow sounds like with no rosin.
Oh, wow. Well, it's great for practice if you have neighbors, but yeah.
But really, yeah, you move the violin bow across the string, and it doesn't actually, what the rosin does is makes it stick, and in very tiny patterns, and you won't even feel it, is that the violin bow sticks and then slides, sticks and then slides, and that's caused by the rosin. And when there's nothing, it just slides, and there's nothing to actually make those strings vibrate and to make the sound.
So the rosin is incredibly vital, so don't throw it away.
Don't throw the rosin away. Use it. It may take up to 5, 6, 7 minutes when you first buy a violin bow to get it fully coated with rosin. It does take a little bit of time. And then before you play every time, you want to add that in.
And you want to have the tension on the bow when you put the rosin on, right?
Yeah, otherwise the rosin's not going to stick.
Awesome. Well, Kane, that's awesome. If you take us out maybe with one more a little bit of a melody there, but thanks so much for demystifying the violin bow. That's a great help.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you.